Her next section here, she is entitled "Don't Impose Your Facts." Right?
Yeah.
She says, earlier we learned that all idols lead to a mental dichotomy or dualism, and that postmodernism is no exception. Philosophers like William Lane Craig point out that virtually no one applies postmodernism consistently across the board. People are not relativistic, he says, when it comes to matters of science, engineering, and technology, rather they are relativistic and pluralistic in matters of religion and ethics, right?
So it's not real when you talk about God, but if you want to build a building, then it's real.
That's right. It's not real when you talk about morally right and wrong, but if you want to drive a car, then
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
In short, she says they apply their postmodern skepticism selectively, right? Just to the things that. So thinking of it this way, we often hear people say, "Don't impose your religion on me," but we never hear people say, "Don't impose your facts on me," right? Why not? Because facts are assumed to be objective and universal and binding on everybody.
Right. Or at least person independent.
Right, yeah. The upshot is that most people function as modernists and postmodernists depending on their situation, right? Situation metaphysics.
Right. Abortion bad. Whoa. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Right triangle is 90 degrees. All right, fine. You can tell me what a right triangle is.
So in dealing with religion and morality, most people no longer think in terms of true and false. They no longer look to religion for the explanatory system to answer the cosmic questions of life. Instead, she tells us, they choose a religion the way they choose a wallpaper pattern or an item on a menu, right? And she quotes, she's mentioning philosopher Ernest Gellner here. It is becoming an area of life where it is considered acceptable to act on the basis purely of personal taste or feelings. By contrast, Gellner says, when serious issues are at stake, right, like making money or meeting medical needs, then people want solutions based on real knowledge. Right?
No, not the fake knowledge, real knowledge.
They want to know the test outcomes of objective science and research.
Right. And again, remember the scope that we're talking about here. It's the romanticists, those that say that those real systems are just products of the mind.
That's right. Products of the mind, yeah. So what she says is this means that most people live fragmented lives, right?
Right.
In the private world of home, church, and relationships, they operate on a postmodern view of truth as subjective and relative. It's, whatever you think, whatever religion you want, that's what's true for you. Something else is true for me, right? That's relativism. But in the public world of work, business, and finance, they operate on a modernistic view of truth as objective and verifiable. Hey, my bank account isn't balancing. They did something wrong. I'm going to go make sure we get it right? No, that's just what their truth is. No, it isn't.
Right, exactly.
So in short, they no longer live as a whole person with consistent, coherent philosophical with a consistent philosophical life. And so no wonder, she says, that the philosopher Louis Dupree says that the central challenge of our age is the lack of any integrating truth. Quote, we experience our culture as fragmented. We live on bits of meaning and lack the overall vision that holds them together in a whole. Right? As a result, she tells us people feel an intense need for self-integration. Christianity has the power to integrate our lives and create a coherent personality for people. So our commitment to Christian truth cannot simply remain one discrete part of life. Dupree tells us that it must integrate all of other aspects of existence. Anything less is neither beautiful nor compelling.
Yeah. So even within this fragmentation, if they said, then, well, okay, we just live in this fragmented way, and I don't really care, or it doesn't bother me in some way. But no, everyone is trying to find a all-encompassing worldview that is distant from Christianity and is all-encompassing in explanation, because to hold this double-mindedness isn't possible. But yet we see it. We see that's how it's played out, and there you have your box in the first floor and your box in the attic. But if they were living consistently, they would say, well, yeah, I live fragmentary, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Right.
great. So
Yeah.
so
Well, and that's what we saw earlier
Right.
with the guys we were looking at, right? Yeah, it's fragmented, but that's just the way you have to live,
right.
right? You have to live as if morality is true or as if truth exists. For them, you have to live as if truth exists,
Right.
we might say.